Hey, AP Computer Science. We are going to be solving some problems from the repetition exercises. So this is 2-4, Unit 2, Lesson 4. Here's our first exercise. We have this add some numbers. Tally, running tally it's called. So it's supposed to, give a little prompt, and then it asks us to add, and we type in numbers, and as we go, it adds up the sum until we press -1. And when we press -1, it's done. And then it prints out the total, and the program ends. So that's the story. So it's this built-in sort of loop concept. So I'm going to open up BlueJ, and we're going to start a new program. Running Tally. Make a new class for that. And we'll open it up, and it gets all this junk in here. And we got to get rid of it. So first we'll put in our import statement, because we know we're going to be using the scanner. So that's just like so. And then it's going to be class running tally. And we'll have our main method, so we can put this put our code inside of this. So we got public static void main string. String with a capital S args. Okay. So thus the great adventure begins. So the first thing we got to do, I guess, is initialize some variables. So the variables we're going to need are, first of all, a scanner. So we'll make a scanner. Let's call it SC. And we have to instantiate it, is the correct way to say this. Basically making our scanner. We'll talk more about that when we learn object-oriented programming. That period's tough to type. Let's see what else. We're probably going to need some kind of a tally variable. It's like the sum, maybe, is a better word. What did I use before? Total. I guess total's pretty good. Like it. And also like a variable just to kind of take each input as it is sent to us, like when we type it in, or when the user types it in the terminal. So I think that should be pretty good. This will be our sort of running total, and this will be our each reads in each number. Okay, so next we should probably put in that prompt. So we're going to do some system.out.println, so we got a little intro text. And what did it say? Something like, let's add some numbers. This will probably go off screen a little bit, but that's okay. Type a negative number to quit. Quit. There we go. And then to put in the second line, like if I go back here, you'll notice that there's like a gap between there. So if you want to put in like just a new line, one way is just to do a print again. So we can just do a print, but print no actual characters. So system.out.println nothing. But it'll still put in the new line character because it's print line. So that'll work out nicely. Okay, so next we have to actually start adding stuff. So we know that there's going to be like a print line add, and there's going to be, us reading it in. So I'm going to do that, but eventually I'm going to have to put a loop in there. So I'm going to do system.out.print, and I'm going to choose print for my prompt. And that way, when instead of print line, right, this is print line, this is print. So I'll say add, and then the cursor will stay here on this line. So when the person goes to type in their number, it will show up on the end of the line instead of on a new line below. So then I'll read in from the scanner. I'll do input equals sc.nextInt. And then, I want to do some kind of like, loop of this. Keep on doing that as long as it's positive. So this is a good example of a place where a while loop would be fantastic. A for loop's not so good here because, we're not really counting from one number to another number. Pardon me. But, we're going to, while loop will just kind of let us just check that condition over and over again. So we can say while input is less than, while it's greater than or equal to 0. So as long as it's greater than or equal to 0, we'll keep on asking. So we'll say add, and then we'll take in the number. And then if it's a positive number or a 0, then we'll do again. It'll say add, and we'll take in that number. And eventually, if you type in -1, that's not greater or equal to 0, so this will stop. There's another thing we have to do, though, as we do this. We have to actually add to our tally. But we want to make sure we don't add the negative number. If someone types in -1 to quit, we don't want to add it in. So we'll just say, hey, if input is greater than, I guess, or equal to 0, then we'll say total equals total plus input. Great, so that's a nice way. You could also say total plus equals input for a little bit tighter code. And then I guess we have to, then after this happens, so this is sort of our input loop. And then we have to put in some kind of like final thing to say, display total. So I'll type in some kind of like, system.out.println, and according to the example, we're supposed to have a line break there. So that's how you do a line break. And then we'll just do system.out.println. Your total is, and then we use the plus sign to combine some actual text with a just a variable like total. And of course, if it's not in quotes, then this will evaluate to be whatever number total is. So if it's 16, then we'll print your total is 16, not your total is total, because there's no quotes around that. So there's our nice little program. I'll press Control-Shift. I don't know why I don't make it put in full size here. So let's confirm it works. So I compiled, and now I'll go back to the booge. Here we go, main. Running it. Okay, add some numbers. Let's add 2, 4, and 6, and 8. So that should be 20. So I say -1 to quit. Your total is 20. Boop, 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 boop. Seems like it's working. And hey, the formatting is identical to the way it is in the example. So I guess we are set. I guess we did this one. Hey, thanks AP Scholars. If you're having any trouble with these ones, I hope this helped out. But by no means is this necessarily cleared up all your confusion, so please don't hesitate to ask, either in person or on Teams. Make a flex time appointment, whatever you need to do to make this make more sense. Okay? Thanks, everybody.